Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jason and I hope everyone's having a very good weekend. I know this coronavirus has been very frustrating to everybody, emotionally, psychologically, but all we gotta do is just try to be positive as much as we can and try to stay in quarantine so that way you can protect yourself and protect others without getting exposed from the coronavirus. But you know what? I've been fully protecting myself, so I'm 100% full proof of how I'm managing wherever I go. So, but yeah, let's just try to be positive as much as we can. I know it's hard, but we'll make it through this. It's going to take a long time until the coronavirus go away. And you know what? I will not be surprised if this is going to last for a year. I won't be surprised if that happens. But and for those of you who've been taking care of yourself and taking care of your families, I'm very proud of you that you're achieving your success. So keep on working on it, and also keep practicing our social distancing from 6 feet away. That's the most important part. Okay? So let's just make it through this and we'll be fine. Okay, so today's topic that I would like to talk about today is scientists versus religion. Okay? So we got two of them, two debates that I'm interested in to talk about. So let's get into science first. There are many scientists that they are studying and also practice these resources about the universe. There are many times that we can travel far away. Matter of fact, it might take months or even maybe decades to leave in the solar system and then reach to our universe, to leave the Milky Way. Now, for instance, Milky Way is our galaxy. That's how we are living in the universe. But you have mathematics, physics, and also chemistries that they are studying the same knowledge about the universe. And it's very coincidence to see how many resources they're using as an analogy, and to see how it fits by the universe of how we are living by the galaxies from the stars, and even the evolution. Yeah, the evolution that we are discovering an analysis of stars. Like for instance, if I go outside and I use my telescope and it's nighttime, so I use my telescope, and then later on I will start seeing stars. As a matter of fact, maybe I can see the moon. So how far away is from the moon? Does it take 1,000 miles to get away from Earth to moon? Or maybe it might take even longer to reach to the moon. But as a matter of fact, NASA, like Neil Armstrong, that he landed in the moon for the first time. Now even our universe, that's the only way that we are compromised to see what the universe is going to have, that creatability. Or matter of fact, they can use that to create things automatically. Or they can use it by force, by necessary. So, if, for instance, physics, they do a lot of calculations and solving each equation or even solving their numbers to see where it exactly fits in the chart. Like you have the black hole. That these black holes is basically that it actually shrinks. Like a big massive hole, and then later on it shrinks all the way down to the bottom. Now basically, it's almost like that black hole is almost like erasing the galaxies, and matter of fact, erasing the universe itself. But that's what I think. I'm not saying it as a negative, but I'm just saying that these black holes they're very mysterious of why they choose to. It's almost like deleting our history. Because we don't know whether, if they choose to erase the history, we don't know if it ever comes back. And if it doesn't come back, matter of fact, it might take years until we get to see the open generation. So basically, it's a time inspection. Yeah. Expansion. Yeah. It's a time expansion. Because we don't know how long it takes for them to get back to the universe. Might take days, might take years. millions of years. But there are many times that we can have a better understanding to see how these universes are going to fit in every categories. Because once we live in a universe, we all know that many times that we are basically designed to see where these galaxies where they came from. Because there's many galaxies in our universe that we can know what they are. I'm not saying we don't have to study all of them, but we can have a briefly idea to see where they came from. And there's many times that even chemistries, for example, like you have those big bands. Okay, so you have those big bands is they can do things in a very hypertrophic way, that they are creating things by force. Now for you have the Big Bang, it's almost like a big bright light. Then later on, you have these atoms. These atoms that they whoosh them around, they move things around, because you have these electrical charges and neutrons. And then basically you have those plus and negative charges because they circle them around, they whoosh them around. So they're going to see how far that they can expand and have more pressure on it. And then later on, once it finally breaks apart from the atom, later on you have those massive clouds that they're using it as a circulation. They circulate. And then finally, we have a brand new galaxy. So, we might ask our question, do we think the Big Bang is the only way that it creates things automatically? Do we think that's the creator of the scientists? We think so. We think it's true. But there's one thing we want to point out is that if the Big Bang does create things automatically, then it produced these atoms that if we're relating to chemistry, that's exactly where it fits in the order. There's no way they cannot change it. There's no way they cannot make up a story. But we want to speculate to see where it fits in the word. And matter of fact, these atoms, they're very interesting particles. They are. They're very particles. And they can design on how they move things normally. Now, there's another part I'd like to discuss about the geologic time scale. Now, for those of you that you might be interested in learning Earth science, some of you know or don't know of what that means if you took Earth science, because I took Earth science too when I was in school. Well, one of the things I understand about the geologic time is that we used to have those big massive rocks, and then all of a sudden you have those moons. And what they'll do is they crush every asteroid from one direction to another. And then you have those volcanoes that actually burst to ash. And then you have those magma chambers that they're underneath the Earth's crust. Then later on, once it finally dissolves and cools down, now we're starting having new creatures coming along. We have the trilobites, we have the dinosaurs, we have those mammals, and then we have the humans, early humans. Now for dinosaurs, they're very delicate creatures, because that's the only way that they can survive in their own living nature. Because they go out and explore and hunting and basically killing the other animals. Because that's the only way they can survive. And then later on, they have that big asteroid that just lands to Earth, and then it killed all the dinosaurs. Do you think they had to use their claws and dig their the dirt in the sand so that they can bury themselves to stay alive? No, because that's not their knowledge. That's not what they think. But the only way they can learn by the brains is that they can go out and explore their own environment by survivals. See, that's the only way that they're going to basically go out in their own explorers. So basically, we all think that in this earth that we live in, we all know that our Earth is part of our human nature or living nature, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, we can actually define to see what we are living this earth. Okay, so why we're living this earth? Is there a reason why we live in this earth? Do we think our universe, that's the only way that we can compromise of how we live in the galaxies to be happy in our lives? Because we live in this earth because we're very motivated to see how we are learning by scientists? You have people say, yes, we do. But you have other people say, well, there might be a chance, but we understand that there are many times that we can use these logical arguments to see what fits in the earth. Basically, Earth is alive. I mean, you can't go anything wrong. Like those volcanoes that burst to ash from the magma chambers. Because if there was no volcanoes in our Earth, then we will never understand of where these volcanoes came from. So that's the only way that if we can express of how we think in this universe and also live in this earth, we don't live in this earth in a fairy tale land. It's not some fairy tale land, it's not a knight that rescued from the princess from the castle. It's not like that. But the reason why we live in this earth, because we like to learn more of the background of the earth history. Because there's so much history involved that we can learn more so much. Because the way we live in this earth is part of our nature. The nature that the creatures, they live in land and water. And they do their own explorers. Because that's the way that they can survive in their natures. And to compromise on how they're using all the tools and the basics of how they can go along with their journeys. A journey where you can go somewhere far away in this world. That we never know what happens, but maybe, just maybe, there are a chance that the way we live in this world is how we are designed, of how we're living in our nature. And let's be fair, we live in this earth that is not perfect. Okay? It's not perfect. That's not how we're meant to be. We can never be perfect, but the only way we can learn from ourselves is to to live in this earth that we have meetings. And first of all, scientists, I mean, we got all the resources. We understand how our universe and the Big Bang, even the geologic time, these are basically what they're doing is they're using these compositions to learn everything of how they know. Because if we focus on the history of science, then we know how to expand our journey, to see what's right for everyone. And just like that universe that I was just telling you before, the universe is how we are living, and in the astronomy, to know who we are as scientists. So if I say yes, the universe is our living nature. The universe is where they think the only way we can create is to know the scientists of what they think. I mean, you can't go any wrong with universe or the Big Bang, because the Big Bang, they can do things automatically. They can do it in a hypertrophic way, and it designs to do it by force. Alright? So now we're going to get into religion. There's been many people that they are very good believers, very good religious people, that they say that God created our universe. Even though our universe is the simplest way that that God is the only one that created, but God made us to live in this earth to be happy. God made us to live in this earth so we can worship our faith and our wisdom. Now, you have religious people, they will say that in a very spiritual way. If we go into the Holy Bible from the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning. Okay, so in the beginning, they're talking about over millions of years ago. Where did all this happen? Was it happen from the universe, the Big Bang, or the geologic time period? The only say was in the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God created form and void. God created the creatures, they live in land and water. So you have people, they will say that. Because that's what they think. Because they practice on religions. Now, for instance, if I want to discuss about theologies, you have theology people that, or better yet, even seminary schools, that they will tell you the same thing. That if you study the Old Testament, you will know that there is Adam and Eve, and there also a God, that He is the creator. Because that's what religious people believe. They believe that in a very hypertrophic way. Now, I'm going to say another thing. You have people that they are not religious. You have people, whether they're an agnostic or an atheist. So let's, for example, if people are actually an atheist, they will tell everybody, no, there is no God. There's no way that we can speculate whether if God is real or not. So here's the thing. If people were an atheist and then they study scientists, whether they learn, if they were self-educated or better yet, if they were learning from school, if they took physics, or let's say they took earth science, or let's say if they took any kind of academic studies about the science itself, they're going to tell everybody that, I'm sorry, but there is no God. Only the universe is created automatically. Only the universe was created, but not any gods. So you have people, they will say those things. So they might find that offensive or not. But there's many times that they use these logical arguments to see where do they fit in the story. Because we don't know whether God exists. We don't know if if He's some kind of just a character, or better yet, if they think the Holy Bible is some kind of it's almost like a fiction story, like a fairy tale story, or a fiction story. So that's why they think, well, I don't believe in the Holy Bible, because they think this is a bunch of fairy tales. Or better yet, this is some kind of a fiction story. They're just basically making things up. They made it up. Let me just say this. You have people that they're very spiritual how they read the scriptures. And also, there's Bibles from the Hebrews and the Greek. And they use these languages to use all the writings of what God told them. Because that's according to the Lord. Whenever the Lord speaks of what they say, they will write down the scriptures. So if an atheist says, no, we don't get that. That doesn't make sense. Okay, so if you think this is not true, why not investigate? That's right. Let's investigate. How about this? If, for instance, if I was an expert as a journalist, I want to investigate on these two topics between scientists and religion and see what the facts are. I want to know the facts. I want to know if this is true or not true. If it's not true, we'll do more resources. We'll do more research to see exactly where it fits in the categories, and then we'll find out that if God did or did not create the heavens and the earth. Okay? So you have people that are going to say those things like that. Okay? But they're not saying that as a bad way, but they're just facts. Or people like, or better yet, maybe when they want to voice their opinion. Okay? So if you want to voice your opinion, or something that you disagree on, something that you do not like, then let's hear your story. Okay? Let's hear your story. We'll be more than welcome to listen to your story and be open-minded and express our knowledge. Okay? We'll do so. But I will say this. The way we live in this earth, like I said, we live in this earth, and the way we live in this world is not perfect. But you know what? We should appreciate that we can express our views of how we're thinking about our nature, and also to express our beliefs of what we are believing in. Everybody has their own agenda to voice their opinion on what they think about scientists or religion. So we live in this earth that we want to have a voice, to voice our opinions, and also we want to express our beliefs. It's whatever you believe in, you can believe anything in this world of what you like or what you don't like. But, you know, we will respect your opinion. Whatever you say. But you know what? Like I said, you have atheists that they're going to study these resources very statistically, and they will definitely study the scientists between mathematics, physics, chemistry, and also astronomy. That they're going to find out these solutions to see how they fit in the story. Because the only way that we live in this universe is that we can express of how we are to see on where these particles are eliminated by the big bangs. Because every time, there's many times that we can have a travel expansion. We can go somewhere far away from the solar system, or better yet, we can find other better examples and to find something interesting that we can learn the statistics way, and to see where it fits everything that people can share their beliefs. And you know what's interesting about the most is that most scientists, that they will say that science and our universe, that we will be demonstrating these principles of the laws of our universe. And there's many theories that they will point out these informations. Whatever they say, if they want to speak on the facts about what they think about the theories, or to think about the evolution that they're going to compromise, and to express of how we are living in this world, that we are designed by nature, our living environments, or even our atmosphere. So we can actually speculate to see where it fits in the order. So, where do we stand by? So what are we believing in these two subjects? Well, it gets to the point where it gets really confusing. It is. It's so confusing because we don't know who is the winner of scientists or religion. Who wins the arguments? We don't know. But at least we will just study as much as we can and try to see where these resources fit in the order. Maybe it can take time, maybe it can take weeks, or maybe it can take years to do so. But unless we can learn from our beliefs and what we think about ourselves in a very positive way. So, is your belief whatever fits in the categories? But I do think scientists and religion has the same debates and same arguments. Or maybe this could be different. So we never know. But if we can just study them we'll know the facts. Alright everybody, well thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. See you later.